let's start solving transformer problems. Before we solve transformer problems, I want you to learn about the relationship between voltage, turns, and current in the transformer. The circuit diagram of a transformer is this. Okay, so this represents the primary side and this represents the secondary side. Now, for the voltage of the primary side, we will call it V1 and then V2 for the secondary side. For turns or coils, we will call it N1 in the primary and N2 in the secondary. And for the current, we will call it I1 and also I2. Now, what are the relationships of voltage, turns, and current in the transformer? Now, for the voltage, if V1 is greater than V2, the transformer is a step-down transformer. And same as well if N1 is greater than N2. This is also a step-down transformer. Now, if that is the case, we will learn that V1 over V2 is equal to N1 over N2. They are directly proportional to each other. Now, there will be changes if we will see the relationship of voltage turns with the current. Now, for the current, this is now equal to the I2 over I1. So, take note of this one because the current is inversely proportional to the voltage and to the number of turns. Okay, so, this is the formula that we have to consider in dealing with turns, volts, and current. Very simple lang siya. Yan lang talaga. Okay, so let's start solving the first problem. I'll erase this one. Okay, the first problem is a transformer has a primary coil and a secondary coil with the number of loops are 500 and 5,000. Okay, it says here that the primary coil has 500 and the secondary coil is 5,000. Now, the input voltage, okay, so it says input. So, since that is input, we say earlier that the input voltage will be given to the primary side. Okay, so that is V1, 220 volts. We are required to find the output voltage or the secondary voltage. So, using our formula, N1 is 500, we have 5,000 is equal to 20 divided by V2. Okay, solving for this one, V2 is equal to, can you try to solve it on your own? Okay, so V2 is equal to 2,200 volts. Okay. Now, we could see that the voltage in secondary side is greater than V1. Therefore, this transformer is a step-up transformer. Okay, next problem. A transformer has a primary coil with 1,200 loops and secondary coil with 1,000 loops. If the current in primary coil is 4 amperes, then what is the current on the secondary coil? Okay, we have N1, 1, 2. N2 is 1,000. Primary current. Secondary current. Okay, so the formula is N1 over N2 is equal to I2 over I1. So we have here 1, 2 divided by 1,000 is equal to I2 over 4. Now let's solve for the I2. That is 4.8 ampere. Next problem. A secondary voltage is 220 volts and primary voltage is 110 volts. Then a comparison of the secondary coil is Okay. Now, when we say comparison, we could use ratio, fraction. Now, in this case, we will use fraction na lang. So, V1 is 110 volts. V2 is 220 volts. Okay, now, it says here the comparison of the secondary coil. Then, a comparison of the secondary coil. Do I have the correct question? Wait, let me check if I have the correct question. Then, a comparison of the secondary coil and primary coil. Okay. Yes. Okay. So, it says secondary coil over the primary coil. So, ito yung ating hinahanap. Now, if that's the case, N2 over N1 is equal to V2 over V1. Now, the answer is 220 over 110 or 2. So, the answer is 2. Last question. Based on the figure below, what is the primary voltage of the transformer? Okay. Now, we have here N1 and 2. Ang hinahanap lang naman natin is the primary voltage. So, we have 11 over 2. 24. So, primary voltage is now equal to 132 volts. Okay. So, I think this is very easy for you. That's all for this week. Thank you so much, everyone.